Welcome to the Ordinary Marathoner Podcast.
Good morning and welcome to the Ordinary Daily version of the Ordinary Marathoner Podcast. My name is Scott. I'll be your host today. It is Monday. Happy Monday. Happy Monday, everyone. Busy weekend for us, man. Busy weekend, I got to tell you. Now, we left off on Friday, and I was sort of lamenting how busy the weekend was going to be and how I was going to fit everything in. And then, last night I was kind of looking at the numbers for the week, and it was sort of by far in a way, my weakest week of training since I kind of began Ironman training mode. I think there's an obvious reason for that, and that is I took one rest day on Tuesday, I believe, or maybe it was Wednesday. Took a total rest day. Thursday, I followed that up with sort of like an active rest day, where I just swam, which doesn't really burn a lot of calories, didn't really take a lot of time. Weekend was full of stuff. Weekend was just packed with things that we needed to do, and I knew it was going to be challenging to begin with, and it did prove to be pretty challenging. On a good note, I was down over a pound and a half last week, which is kind of strange because I've had some weeks where I've really crushed workouts and burned over 10,000 calories, and the weight went up, and then last week, it was my lowest week in terms of hours, in terms of calories burned, and I lost more weight last week than ever before. So I don't know what, the secret sauce is out there. I just don't know how to make it. For the numbers, I believe I put in about 9 hours of working out. 9 hours of working out. Let me see. I only ran 16 miles. I biked 76 miles. Looks like I was on the bike a total of, I can't do this math in the morning, like 6 hours. 6 hours for the week, 6.5 hours for the week. I don't know. I don't feel bad about it. I feel like it's when I kind of sat back and looked at what I did and the workload and the time and how I allocated my time. It's what I did. The rest days, they were necessary. Let's get to the weekend. Friday I sat here and I remember just saying when I left the podcast, I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. No idea how I'm going to fit these things in. I'll figure it out. And as I sat there after the podcast, I was like, you know what? I'm going to get these things in. And I knew that I wasn't going to have time for a long run this weekend. So I got up off my ass and I jumped on the treadmill and kicked out 15 miles. Treadmill 15 miles is, significant for me. So I think it ties my longest run of sort of this, this stretch. I think I've done like 18 on the treadmill before, but 15 for this point in time is really good. I felt really accomplished after that. Really more accomplished because I wasn't really expecting to do it. I just kind of said, all right, let's do a long run. Jumped upstairs, changed my clothes, came down here, bang, 3 hours later, 15 miles in the tank. Check, put a check in the box. That was great. Steph and I went to, Sam was cheering at a hockey game that night. So we went out, we had dinner out. We saw Sam cheer. She was awesome. She's kind of at this age where she does things. She wasn't even nervous. She's out on a hockey on the, they put like a mat out on the hockey rink and between, it was first intermission of the hockey game. And she did great. She didn't seem nervous at all. I'm nervous doing little things. And she's out in front of like thousands of people. She don't care. I should take a note from her anyway. Saturday, Stefany and I had our business meeting. We talked about that. We made a list of things that we need to do, and so far we haven't done any of them. We did do a podcast this weekend, though. So Saturday, Steph and I did a podcast. just about, so she had this video series, the Mom Smiles and Baby Smiles. We've been talking about this here and there. I kind of make a joke because I'm just like, all right, we'll talk about it, but then don't tell her. And so we went over why, the things that got in her way and the things that, got in the way of her training, got in the way of us doing this video series, because we really kind of felt like we wanted to do a 10-week series and do every week of the Couch to 5K program so we could show people like how it's done and what they need to do and kind of provide an example. And so to kind of sort of back out after 7 weeks of filming and working, it was disappointing, I think, for both of us, but we have these challenges in front of us. And, the culminating event of her Couch to 5K series was a 5K that she did yesterday. So she went out yesterday and completed her 5K. Her goal was to run the whole way, but she said that the one thing that she was shocked at were the hills. There were hills in the 5K, and she hasn't really been training on hills. We wanted to get outside. It's been very cold, and it's hard as a parent of a newborn to find time to leave the house. You gotta just sneak things in when you can. So I think, we were hoping to get out a lot more than we did. I think we only filmed one workout outdoors where she ran outdoors, which is kind of sad that almost every workout she did was indoors. But so she was kind of lamenting the fact, that's twice I used this lamenting word today. I gotta watch my vocab. She was, she's upset at the fact that she didn't finish. She's upset at the fact that she didn't train on hills because she feels like she knew better. And we're kind of looking forward just now. I mean, the weather is turning this week and it's getting kind of warm. So I think both of us are really looking forward to trying to get outside more. And really that's half of the allure of this sport in a way is not just that you're getting yourself in shape. It's just that you're experiencing outdoors and new things, and everything's different. Everything's new when you're outdoors. You never know who you can run into. You never know, you see squirrels and rabbits and birds and whatever. It's just, I won't train that much on the bike outdoors just because I don't like the roads and I don't mind the trainer as much, but definitely with the running. And I tell you, I did my 15 miles now. I did 15 miles 2 or 3 weeks ago on the treadmill, and I felt great coming off it. On Friday when I finished the 15 miles, my legs were tight. It was like my lower hamstrings and my upper calves, they were just really tight. And that's kind of the area that was tight when I did Phoenix. One of the things that drove me to DNF that day. Oh, I shudder at the thought. Which really means more yoga for me, or some yoga, because I only did it once. I've been saying I've been going to do it, and I never do it. It's written on the training plan this week. I've written out my whole week. I'm very excited to kind of attack it. Let me see. So Saturday, I wound up doing only, what did we do Saturday? So we did the podcast here. I feel like we were in and out of the house all day. Wound up doing my bike ride at night. The initial intention was to do my long ride. And I didn't get on the bike till after 9:30. And I'm like, all right, screw it. I'm going to do a race. And I did. And I missed racing on Zwift. And I'll tell you why I miss racing is it pushes me to drive the intensity higher. It's a shorter race, so no, it doesn't give you that long distance thing, but it'll burn some calories. It'll get your blood pumping, and man, I tell you, like, it was like an 11 something mile race, maybe 12 mile race. And at mile 5, I'm thinking to myself, this sucks. I just want to get off this thing. But there's something about seeing how many miles you have left to go, as opposed to how much time you have left to go. And it's a different feeling. I talked about this before, but it's a different feeling. It's like when you see how many miles you have left to go, you can, what's the word? You can kind of like push yourself. You can kind of increase the intensity, increase the speed, suck it up, suck it up and attack it and try to play mental games with yourself, knowing that the faster you go, the faster you're going to be done. As opposed to when you have a timed workout, and the faster you go, it doesn't really matter. You're still going to finish in the same time. And I think I like that for the bike. I think I really like it because when I'm 5 miles into this 12-mile bike and I can look and say, all right, I got 7 miles to go. Come on, let's go. Come on. As opposed to if I'm like, all right, I got I'm 1 hour in and I got 2 more hours to go. Screw this. There's no way to fix that. There's no way to push through it. You just got to sit there on the, you can ride as slow as you want. Just sit there. And I enjoyed the racing, and so now, I told you last week I'm going to change my entire schedule, and I did that this week. This is the first week where I've kind of changed and made up my own schedule, and we'll see how that goes. And I got to tell you, I think I'm due for a little bit of a shakeup here in training because I'm looking at the numbers week by week. The last 2 or 3 weeks, everything has dropped. My hours worked has dropped. My calorie output has dropped. My weight hasn't moved. And it's moved a little. It's up and down. And then this past week I had a good, I just can't explain it because it wasn't diet. And today, what was I this morning? Of course, looking at my penmanship's terrible. 220.7. That's not so bad. 125 days left. 125 days left to this race. That number is moving quickly. I mean, I look at this and I have a half, a 70.3 in June. It's like, 35 days ahead of this. So probably 90 days until Mont Tremblant and Mont Tremblant half, something like that. And, I should really keep that in mind because that's not necessarily, that's not a nothing challenge. That's significant. So, I needed to shake things up. I think I've shaken things up a little bit with training this week. Again, it's going to be a challenging week for me. Let me see. Did I go through last week? Well, Sunday. So let me talk about Sunday. Jeez, we were so overloaded this weekend. I can't believe how much stuff we did. It's just insane. So Sunday, Stefany had her 5K. So she went off to her 5K in the morning. We had the nanny come watch Ellie. Sam was with her mom. I went to Race Mania out in Boston. Now, Stefany and I were both going to go to Race Mania together. And then she signed up for her 5K. Turned out the same week. Or same day. So she wound up going to the 5K instead, which was a good choice for her. So I went to Race Mania. I met Laura Stebbins out there. Watched Mike Reilly speak, which was awesome. Stephanie was making fun of me in the morning because I have this hat, which I just got from the hockey game, which I really like. I might have to do ordinary marathon hats, just because I feel like this is like such a great hat. I like the brim is nice and curved. What do these people like wear the flat brims these days? It's like, I don't get it. I don't get it. It's like the brim is like pre-curved. It's got like even the mesh. Like I hate the mesh hats, but this one's like it's gray. It kind of looks nice. I don't know. I gotta get some ordinary marathoner hats. Anyway, what was my point? So I'm sitting there with this hat and my Lake Placid finisher hat, and I'm like, all right, which one am I going to wear? And and Stephanie's looking at me like, I'm nuts. And I'm like, I'm going to wear the Ironman finisher hat. And she's like, why? I'm like, well, I'm going to see Mike Reilly. Maybe he'll recognize me. She's like, oh, I think you have a crush. Yeah, I think maybe I do. Maybe I do. Hey, leave me alone. So I saw Mike Reilly. I went and said hi to him, and it was funny. Laura had actually asked him. She said, "Oh, you're on my friend's podcast the other day," and he's like, "Oh, which one?" She's like, "Oh, Ordinary Marathoner," and he's like, "Oh, that was so much fun." And it was really cool to hear him say, hear that he said that it was so much fun that and he didn't say, "Oh, that guy sucks." But it was fun. I had fun too. I'm glad he had fun. But we got a copy of his book. He signed it for me. It says, "Dear Scott, you are an Ironman." It must be nice to have like a nice catchphrase like that. Just to be able to, you don't have to think about what to write for everybody when you sign books. But I'm actually really looking forward to the books. As a matter of fact, we've been putting up weekly links on the webpage for, we call it Useful Stuff. And so this week's Useful Stuff is going to be Mike Reilly's book. And, man, I got to tell you, so I sat there for him. He spoke for like, I don't know, half hour, 45 minutes. And a guy can just tell stories forever and be entertaining. He's just experienced so much through this thing. And he told so many stories. I'm sure they're all in the book. And I can't wait. I'm excited to read it. I actually really am. Really excited to read it. Actually, we got another one too in the mail. Let me see. I got it over here. Chasing Greatness. This is Mike Roberts. We had him on the podcast too. And a couple weeks ago, and he sent a copy of this book. We're going to give it away during the Ordinary Marathon. So I want to thank Mike for that too. I got books, I got coasters, we got lots. Where's June Walker? We got to talk about June Walker. We're going to save it for another podcast. Another member of our group who is donating a bunch of stuff and through her business. For the race. I'm really excited for the race. Definitely check it out. Get over to ordinarymarathon.com and register this week. This is the last week you can register before you can't get the personalized bib. And if you want a t-shirt, we can't guarantee delivery by race day, which you're going to want that shirt by race day so you can take pictures. So check that out at ordinarymarathon.com. Anyway, so I met Mike Roberts and I'm sitting there and I'm looking at the schedule, and two speakers later, Meredith Atwood is on the schedule. Meredith Atwood, we had on the podcast like 2 years ago. She runs a site called Swim Bike Mom. She has a great story, a great backstory. And that's pretty much what her presentation was. She got a new book coming out. It's not out yet, and she's actually moving to the Boston area. So I'm hoping that timing lines up, and she moves to Boston and comes out with a new book. We can have her. We can do a video podcast. I think I'm just really looking forward to the video. By the way, I told you I've been buying all these like accessories for my GoPro that I just got. I can't stop buying accessories for the GoPro. I'm watching video of how to do GoPro and all this stuff. And so yesterday, Sam's like, "Oh, what's this?" I'm like, "Oh, I got the arm with the GoPro camera." And she's like, "Oh, let me start taking video." And she just grabs it. I had not taken a video with this thing. And Sam's just like we're out at Panera and she's like filming herself, like eating lunch and stuff. And I'm like, why can't I have that energy? Why can't I have that? I get nervous about filming anything. And it's just, I don't know. She's got such a good frame of mind for that. She don't care. Maybe that's like a part of the generation. They just, hey, let's film myself. I don't care where I am. Don't care what I'm doing. Like, I'm out in public. I'm like, I don't like this whole selfie stick thing. It feels weird. It feels like I'm asking for attention. I hate that. But she's fearless, man. She just, I'm going to eat my soup and put it on video and it's just, I don't know. I don't get it. But I got to start using this camera a lot more. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to try to channel Sam's fearlessness when it comes to being on camera, I guess, and check that out. So, yeah. So anyway, after Meredith Atwood, I'm like all over a little bit, but this is what happens at 5 a.m. Well, it's actually 6. I don't want to give myself credit for waking up early when I didn't. But after Meredith's talk, I went down and I talked to her. And, hey, I don't know if you remember me, because Meredith and I we spoke a bunch after the podcast. We talked here and there, but as always with these sort of friendships, it's really hard to stay in touch with someone that especially someone that you don't talk to all the time. So I probably hadn't talked to her. I think I talked to her when I finished Lake Placid in 2018. So I just went up and I said hi. I said, I don't know if you remember me, but I had you on my podcast. Oh yeah, she remembered and took a picture. We put it on Twitter. She put it on Twitter and I put it on Facebook. And it was just really nice. It was really nice to kind of meet someone. Obviously, it seems like she's having some degree of success with her books. Now that she's writing a second one, and really kind of like, I don't know, seemed like a down to earth person. And I don't know, it was good to see her, and it's nice to kind of, I've been doing this 3 years, and it was nice to kind of see somebody from not the last couple of weeks of interviews, but from someone a while back, and be able to be like, hey, I've done this thing for 3 years, and relationships are meaningful, and it was good to see her speak. She did a great job with her presentation, and all in all, I think going to Race Mania was a good idea for me, and it was fun. I had a lot of fun, and actually, I can't wait to go next year. But I got home yesterday. I had to pick up Sam from a birthday party, make dinner. We went out to dinner. We went to Panera. And, we watched a movie. What do we watch? Night at the Museum. something like that. Night at the museum, which is pretty good. Pretty good. And then Sam went to bed. I looked down. It's like 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. And nothing done on the workout front. Hopped on the bike with the intention of doing a long ride. I was watching the games last night, the NCAA games. And I'm like, all right, I'll just try to hang on the bike until they're over. And I didn't. I put in maybe an hour and 20 minutes. I still having saddle issues. I think I'm going back to my old saddle. I have a kind of one or two things I want to try with it before I just totally give up. I don't even know about totally giving up. I gotta, the thing is I suffered through 3 hours on the original saddle. I'm just looking for something that's comfortable. I'm just looking for it not to hurt. I don't want it to hurt. And I feel like it can be comfortable if I just dial it in. I just, I got to work on it. So, I think that also affected. I mean, I could have went, I had almost 9 hours of training last week, or I did have 9 hours of training. So if I would have been able to kick out another 2 hours on the bike last night, that would have made me feel a lot better. 11 hours would have made me feel a lot better, but just wasn't happening. And it's just something I got to work on. So let me tell you the schedule for this week. Jeez, I've been talking a long time, because this week is another one. It's, again, I've set myself up for failure here with working out, but it actually, when I laid out the schedule, as long as I adhere to it, it could work. It could be a good week for me. But let's go through it. Tuesday, I'm packing up all the video stuff because I'm going to New Jersey to interview Ramon Burmo. So Tuesday, you'll get the video podcast and you'll get the audio. Wednesday morning, my intent is to get up and do the audio podcast, but all the video equipment's going to be down. It's going to be packed up. So there's going to be no video podcast on Wednesday, audio only. And what I'll do is I'll upload it to YouTube through our old channels and do it that way. Then Thursday there's going to be no morning podcast because I'll be out in Jersey. I'm crashing out there Wednesday night, driving back on Thursday morning. So that's just the way it is. Again, it's gonna be hard to get workouts in and stuff, but we'll see. So my intention is to go down to interview Ramon Burmo on Wednesday for a long form podcast that will probably be released over the weekend. Possibly interview my friend Vinny, who's like Vin Russo. Couldn't get more Italian. Old friend of mine. We've done lots of projects together. I'm staying at his house over on Wednesday night, and if we don't wind up kicking too many back before my interview is done with Ramon, I think we're going to try to do a podcast with him too. And it'll be different because he's not necessarily a runner. But him and I have a long history, and we can sit there and talk forever, and it might be entertaining. So, the intention is to get down there, set up the equipment, do two video podcasts back to back. We might not release them back to back, but I don't know. I've never traveled with this stuff. I don't know if it's going to work. I'm just glad I have sort of like a friendly audience there between Ramon and Vinny in case I really blow it up. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. A busy week, guys. Busy week. I hope your week is busy too, man. Ordinary Marathon. I got to work. I got to get off this podcast and start working on that stuff because I just haven't. Everything has just been put aside. I just delay. Lazy. Not lazy, but bad prioritization, I guess, which is a really fun way of saying lazy. Anyway, get after it this weekend, guys. Get after it. Stay busy. Stay working. I'm excited. I'm excited for this week. I'm excited for 125 days from now. Man, I'm excited. The weather's turning and I'm going to be outside more. So there's a lot to look forward to here, folks. There's a lot to look forward. And remember, don't waste a day, guys. Don't waste a day. And remember, every day is an ordinary day. It just takes you to make it extraordinary. So get after it.
Remember to like our video and subscribe to our channel.